In the last video, I discussed the importance of discipline and how it is a lacking character trait in men today. A lot of men lack a sense of discipline because they lack a sense of responsibility. They don't take ownership, they don't take responsibility for the things that they are responsible for. And these habits develop young. As young men living at home with their parents, it's very easy to think, I don't have any responsibilities, and those responsibilities aren't going to come for a while. Those things are going to come way down the road, so I don't really need to prepare now. And what you end up having is boys that are not taking responsibility or ownership for the things in their life while they're young, and that translates to men that act like boys, that struggle to discipline themselves, that struggle to take responsibility for the things that they should be taking responsibility for. And so as a man, and as a man who desires to cultivate a sense of responsibility and discipline in my life, in my marriage, in my walk with God, in every aspect of my life, one of the ways that I have found helpful to do this is by developing a daily routine. And this is not unique to me. You can find videos all over YouTube, podcasts talking about the importance of a daily routine. But what I wanted to do in this video is just share what I do. And what I do is very simple. I have it written down on my phone, and I have a very short list, and it's just this is the way that I structure my day so that every single day I am remaining disciplined in particular things every day consistently. And as you'll find, and as I've found in my own experience, the more that you discipline yourself in very small areas and consistency day to day, the easier it's going to be to build discipline in other areas. So to start, I wake up at 4:30 a.m. That's when my alarm goes off. As soon as the alarm goes off, I try to make a beeline straight to prayer and to journaling. And I think that this is a practice that every man should really implement in their life. As soon as you wake up, doesn't have to be at 4:30, but as soon as you wake up for your day, start the day by prayer and journaling. And the reason that this is so important is it lays the foundation for your day. It really, really does. So many of us get up and we just start moving into our tasks right away without really grounding ourselves. As I talked about in the last video, the foundation of strength is your spiritual strength, your grounding. This is the foundation upon which everything else comes. And so when I wake up in the morning, I want the first thing I'm doing to be communing with God and writing down and journaling, keeping my mind alert, keeping my mind sharp. And most of the time my journaling is, here are the things I'd like to accomplish today. These are the things I wrestle with. Lord, help me. My journal is an extension of my prayer. So start your day with journal and prayer. Next, I go into stretching, walking, and exercise. So I usually start my day with just some brief stretching after prayer. It's usually kind of varies how long I do this, but my main thing is a consistent 2.5 mile walk every single morning. And this is just another beautiful part of the day because you start your day with prayer, you start your day with journaling, and then you go for a walk. And it's just amazing what being outside in nature can do for your mental health. Since I started this habit, since I started this practice of every day just going for a 2.5 mile walk, I have found the clarity with which I think and the ability for me to feel a peace in my spirit is just remarkable. And so I would really encourage, so many of us spend our time cooped up inside, sitting down, glued to a screen. Get outside, go walking. Enjoy the beauty of nature around you. Don't distract yourself by putting earbuds in. Just listen to the sound of nature. Be still, clear your head, and allow nature to do what nature does best, which is to heal, to soothe, and to bring about an awareness of the presence of God. Now, after I go for my walk, I exercise, I train. And this is where I really try to challenge myself to cultivate a deep sense of strength. And so this is where I basically lay the foundation for living a healthy life. And I think every man should be exercising. That should be a staple part of your day. Getting in some movement of some kind outside of walking is really important. If it's as simple as doing some push-ups, doing some pull-ups, let it be. But do something to Move your body. So many of us are dying inside because we're forgetting that our brains are connected to the rest of our body. And so when you sit all day and your muscles get tight and your body gets weak, that affects your mental health. And so as men, we should be strong. We should be seeking strength. And so get out, do something, exercise. Doesn't have to be much, but it's very important. After this, I have written down focus on productivity, getting primary tasks accomplished. And this is the really important part of my day for work. This is when I sit down and I try to be as undistracted as possible. I work. I take a task list that I write usually the night before, and I say, these are the things that I'd like to get done today. And I sit and I start getting those things done. One by one, check them off the list. And this is really a time for eliminating distractions. And so one of the things that I'm trying to get better about, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to get better about, is during this period of time, however much time you allot, for me it's about 4 to 5 hours of my day, you put your phone away. You put anything that would distract you from your tasks away. You don't flip between tabs. You simply focus on whatever it is that you've said you're going to do, and you work at it until you get it done. And you'd be surprised when you eliminate the distraction of a phone, when you eliminate this distraction of flipping between tabs, you're going to be very productive. You're going to get things done a lot faster, and I found this to be true for myself. Now, after I get the primary tasks accomplished, I write down free time for personal growth. Do not waste time on things that do not matter. Spend the majority of this time reading, creating, and resting. And so after I finish my work for the day, I rest. I spend time seeking to better myself. And so this is not a time for just scrolling aimlessly on social media. This is not a time for sitting around watching TV and doing nothing. This is a time for personal growth, for development, but doing so in a restful way. And so set aside a time in your day where you are reading, you're growing in your knowledge on different things that maybe you're not as familiar with. You're maybe creating things. I love writing and recording music, so this is a time where I'm often playing my guitar, I'm recording, I'm doing that and using that as a creative outlet for myself. Whatever it is that you are passionate about, whatever it is that you want to build into yourself, let this be the time in your day that you set aside time to do that. Finally, after that is family time, distraction-free. No phone or electronic use after work hours. You are unavailable during this time. So this is the time of day when usually my wife comes home, and she comes home from work. I've finished up my work for the day, and we come together and we just hang out. We spend time together. And one of the patterns that we had developed early on in our marriage that was just bad is most of this time was spent just on our phones because, you're tired, you just want to look at a screen and relax. But this is a really important thing, to set aside time for family. And so when my wife gets home from work, that's my sign that my electronic use for the day is done. It goes on the shelf, it gets plugged in, it's over. And that is my uninterrupted time to build into my family, to spend time to hear my wife, how was your day? To have her ask, how was your day? To talk about things, to bounce ideas off of each other, to spend time in scripture with one another, to discuss theology with one another. So that's a really, really important thing. Make sure that you're setting aside time for family. And then finally, I have early to bed with prayer. And this is the final part of my day. If I'm early to rise, I wake up at 4:30 every morning. And so being early to rise, I'm trying to get to bed no later than 8:30, 9 o'clock. And so we end the day by praying compline together from the Book of Common Prayer. And this is a really nice way to bookend your day. You begin the day with the foundation of prayer, and you end the day with the foundation of prayer. And so this is my daily routine. It's relatively simple. Wake up, pray, journal, stretch, go on a walk, exercise, dedicate yourself to the work that you have, whatever your job is, whatever your livelihood is, dedicate time to that. Then dedicate time to building into yourself, growing as a person, spending leisure time but in a productive way. Finally, family time. Engage with your family and then end your day with prayer. These are simple but straightforward ways that you can start to add discipline into your life. And what you'll find is it'll be difficult at first. And I'll be the first to admit that I don't always stick to this as well as I would like to. Things happen, things come up, I get distracted, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see a list and say, I want to stick to this perfectly, and then find yourself failing in certain areas. But that failure should be a propellant forward so that we recognize, hey, I can make progress here. I can improve here. And as I have put consistent effort forward to become more disciplined in my day-to-day life, I have found this to be easier and easier to stick to. So I'd encourage you, do something. Every single day, have a list of things that you're going to do. It can be very simple, but just have a structure to your day. Don't just wing it, because winging it is the best way to skirt responsibility, to avoid discipline, and to find yourself in a whole lot more trouble than you would like to. So discipline yourself by coming up with a daily routine, sticking to it, and growing as a stronger man.